president scrapping plans to host next year's G7 summit at his Doral resort in Florida. The president tweeting, quote, based on both media and Democrat-crazed and irrational hostility, we will no longer consider Trump National Doral, Miami, as the host site for the G7 in 2020. We will begin the search for another site, including the possibility of Camp David, immediately.
Democrats were in uproar over the initial proposal, including 3 who filed legislation to block it from happening on Trump's property.
But did their reaction go too far? Here to weigh in is Fox News contributor, Governor Mike Huckabee. Governor, good morning to you.
And good morning to all of you guys. Welcome on this Sunday morning. Happy to be with you.
Thank you. Now, did the Democrats go too far in their criticism over Doral?
They always do, and they went berserk over this. I think the president made the right move to say we're not going to go there. It's just something he doesn't need to add to the plate. His plate's overwhelmed with things that he's being criticized for. There wasn't anything illegal about it. But it just was a controversy that it's an unforced error. It just doesn't need to happen. So he'll go somewhere else. There's lots of places to go. As he said in the tweet, it might be Camp David. I hope it's someplace so remote the reporters aren't able to get there. That would really be a great comeuppance.
Governor, let's take a listen to the media blasting the plan to hold the summit there and get your reaction.
Funneling American taxpayer dollars to his private family business wasn't enough. So now Mr. Trump is putting the squeeze on foreign government.
A major promotion for the president's brand straight from the White House podium.
Unprecedented use of the presidency to put revenue into a president's pockets.
It's the most canonical corruption crime you can imagine.
Is the president violating the Constitution and profiting by holding an international summit?
Very mild reaction by the media. What do you think?
What you just played there is the reason that most of the American people have zero trust, zero confidence in most of the media today. It's disgusting. And for them to try to make it that Donald Trump was even considering Doral because he was going to feather his own nest, my gosh, the man gives away every single penny of his entire presidential salary. He's a billionaire. Yeah. He doesn't need the revenue from a G7 conference to be able to pay his electric bill next month. This is absurd.
Governor, real quick, as a member of the media, though, when you talk about trust in media, how much trust should we have in the acting chief of staff at the White House when he stood at that podium not only promoting the resort, but saying it was all fine, we're going to do this, and then about 24 hours later, the president says, never mind?
That's the way it works. You know, you throw something out there and it doesn't really go over well, and you look and you say, you know, this isn't worth the fight. The president is a fighter. He fights the right fight. Sometimes you just say, this fight isn't worth the trouble. Let me use my energy to fight something that matters for the American people. So now the press will have to find something else, and trust me, they will. It doesn't matter what this president does. They're going to find something they don't like about it. But this is one that kind of comes back on them. It's a little bit, as Popeye would say, embarrassing to them.
Yeah. Governor, let me take you to a different story. We've been talking about it a lot this morning. That is former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton suggesting that one of the 2020 Democrats running for office, Tulsi Gabbard, is a possible Russian asset. Listen to this. I want your reaction.
I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be the third-party candidate. She's a favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. And that's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset.
Governor?
First of all, if anybody would know what the Russians' intentions were, I'd have to say Hillary might know. I mean, her husband got paid $500,000 to make one 30-minute speech. Her foundation got millions and millions of dollars from the Russians. She's the one that went over there and said we're going to have a reset button and had a disastrous relationship with the Russians. But I think it's an insult to, frankly, somebody that this may surprise.